Another week, another edition of the Central Texas High School Football Webcast. I'm Rich Tiarina along with Alan Chabot and Rick Cantu. And guys, start off with a quick question. It's the halfway point of the season. What's been your one biggest surprise? Team, player, something else?
I'll start by saying the biggest surprise has just been a game. I was a little surprised, actually shocked that Austin High beat Westlake last week. Westlake took that early lead.
We'll go to that later. What's your one big surprise?
My one big surprise, I guess, would be where are all the unbeaten teams in 5A and 4A? I mean, we're down to a couple who nobody would expect to be the unbeaten teams at this point in the season.
Yeah, I'll go with how the Pflugerville schools are struggling. Got Hendrickson, Connolly, and Pflugerville, which are going to need to fix some things for the playoffs. Okay. Anyway, let's get into this week. We wanted to talk about first the two big games that you were both at Friday night: Austin High and Westlake, Westwood and Round Rock, and specifically ask the questions: how do those games affect their district races?
Go ahead, start off.
Yeah. Well, I started off with Westlake anyway, and I think all three of us agreed that Westlake was going to win the district fairly easily. But after last week, I think Westlake is still a playoff team, of course, but now you've got to wonder if Austin High is now the favorite to win. They were a good team before the season started. They've had some bad breaks in the first couple games, but they put it together. They've got a good running game. They've got a good passing game. They're very excited right now at that school. I wouldn't be surprised if Austin High either is in first place or tied for first by the end of the year.
Aren't they that perennial team that always, they have so much talent and they never live up to it?
True, but they've never beaten Westlake before, and now they have, and we'll see where they go from here.
Are you ready to say Austin High the favorite to win that district, or do you think it's still Westlake?
Me? I'm not going to say that Westlake's the favorite. I might say that Seguin might be the favorite to win that district.
Okay. Let's go back to 14-5A, Westwood Round Rock game last week. You were there. Game. Westwood wins in overtime. Much like Austin High in 25-5A, is Westwood now the team to beat in that district? We were talking about Round Rock winning last week.
You know what's funny about 14-5A is I have no clue who the team to beat is in that district. And anybody who tells you that they do know, I don't think that they. I don't think they're being very honest. Everybody was saying that Round Rock had the most talent in the district, and I asked Anthony Wood, about that after the game. Well, you said Round Rock had the most district. What does that make you? And he said, pretty damn talented. Which, but other than that, other than we know that Westwood has a victory. Cedar Park has a victory. McNeil has a victory. Other than that, I couldn't tell you who's going to finish on top. Maybe, Rick, you're smarter than me. So
no, I'm not. I'm in last place, remember, in the pick'ems. I'm surprised that Westwood, Cedar Park, McNeil, they're all 4-0. I thought they were all three had decent football teams, but not undefeated at this point.
Yeah, not 4-0 teams at this point.
No.
Probably so.
Well, we're going to find out a little bit more this week, but even still, after that, who knows?
Correct.
We'll be asking the same question next week.
Right.
All right. We'll come back and give out some game balls and name our player of the week. Some huge games last week with big performances. Let's name our player of the week and hand out some game balls. Rick, who's your game ball going to?
I'm going to give mine to Davis Collins, junior running back from Austin High. He just tore apart the Westlake defense. 153 yards, 2 touchdowns. Almost every single yard he had was up the middle. Davis Collins is my man this week.
My game ball is going to Tyler Beatty, the Wimberley quarterback. More than 320 yards of total offense, 4 touchdown passes, and he scored the winning touchdown run in the fourth quarter to beat Liberty Hill. Those were 2 state-ranked teams, so it saved Wimberley's state rank. Player of the week?
Player of the week is Chase freaking Rich. This guy every single week is putting up numbers. This week, 328 yards. On 30 of 51, that's 5-1 passes, which is unbelievable. And as Westwood rolled up over 500 yards of offense, he had 4 touchdown passes and ran for another one, including 3 touchdowns on their final 3 drives, which they obviously needed all of them because
and
they
this is
went
the
to overtime.
second time he's won this.
It's the second time he's won this. This guy is a leader, and Anthony Wood has said, I don't want anyone else at my quarterback besides Chase Rich. And when Anthony Wood says something, you actually believe him, unlike most coaches.
All right. Well, you mentioned Davis Collins a little bit ago. We're about to spend some time with him. When we come back, we'll do that interview.
Welcome back to our Central Texas webcast. Today we have two very special guests from Austin High, which pulled off a big 31-24 upset victory over Westlake. To my left is quarterback Cameron Jones, a senior. To my far left is running back Davis Collins. Welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you.
It's not every day that we get to brag about Austin High, but I got to ask you, Cameron, two big plays. 4th and 2 from your own 24-yard line. The game is tied. 24-24, less than 2 minutes, you guys go for it. What was the thinking behind that play?
Our O-line had been blown up in holes all day, and we were moving the ball well on them. And, Coach called a play, went up to the line of scrimmage, and there was a hole there. And previously, he had told me that if I felt I could get it to go for it. And me and Clint Heinen, our center, had this conversation many times. If there's a hole there, just tap him on the back and go. And, there's a hole there, so I went for it.
I think you made it by about that much. And if you had not made it, it would have been big trouble over there. Let me ask you about the second play, of course. A couple plays later, you connect with Emory Blake for a 71-yard touchdown pass that nobody in Austin High will ever forget. What was the thinking behind that play? Because it looked like kind of a desperation pass at the beginning, but you take us through it.
They had been manning up that backside all night, and Emory Blake's an amazing athlete, and, we put him out there, and I pretty much just threw one up and let him go get it. It wasn't a very well thrown ball, but, Emory adjusted well and took it to the house.
Looked like a spiral to me. Davis, let me ask you, you were one of the stars of the game. I think you surprised people. 153 yards against a good Westlake defense. What did you take advantage of? Because you looked like a bull running through that line there.
Well, there were ginormous holes, and all the credit goes to the line. They had an amazing night, just putting people on their backs, every single one of them.
Of course, you've not had the best of luck. Can you talk about your injuries? That you missed most of last year with an injury and part of this year. Can you say what happened there?
Yes, that's correct. Last year, during the Hayes game, which was our first district game, I tore my rotator cuff 12-7, and that took me out for the rest of the year with surgery. And this year, this was nothing. I had a pulled quad, which is a chronic injury I've had since middle school, but I just told myself, Westlake, it's going to be the night that I come back and show what I got.
Cameron, you guys were 0-16 as a school, not you personally, against Westlake. What was it about this particular game, this team, that made you think that you might win it this year?
Pretty much our coach had been talking about all week that we have to believe. And, last year we came in the first half, and the second half we kind of fell apart. And pretty much this year we just knew that we had to put it all together and play 4 quarters, 4 hard quarters.
Right, and instead of now being the hunter, people are going to be looking at you with a bullseye. Have things changed at your school and with your team? Things coming this week?
Things have definitely changed. The mentality has to change. 'Cause, like you said, now we're the target in the district now because we knocked off the number 1 team. Now we're the ones that everyone's going to be coming after, so we have to step it up.
I don't know if the readers or the viewers can see your T-shirt, but Austin High and Mighty was a pretty good headline this past weekend. Davis, you talk about what was the best thing about winning this game other than the game itself, after it was over. What did you like the most?
See, I just remember looking at the ball in the air, the final play of the game, and I just see it hit the ground, and I turn to my left, and I can see the whole stadium just sprinting towards the middle of the field, and that was probably one of the greatest feelings I've ever felt in my life.
Were you surprised at all that you guys pulled off the upset?
Like Cameron said, I knew we could beat Westlake if we just played a good game, and we did that.
Again, Cameron Jones, Davis Collins, we appreciate you being here. That was a spectacular game to be at. I enjoyed myself immensely, and good luck for the rest of the season. I got a feeling we're going to see these guys in the playoffs.
Hopefully. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We guys, we're in the second week of the district schedule for most of our teams around here. Let's do some pick'em games for 3 of this week's games. Let's start off with a doozy in 14-5A, Westwood at Leander. What do you think, Alan?
You're making me go first because I'm in the lead.
That's correct.
I'm going to go with Westwood. I'm hopping on the bandwagon. So I don't have much else to say. That I just think that they're going to win. I think that they really believe in their team right now.
I like that pick because I'm a couple of games behind you, and I'm going to go with Leander. Because as much as I like Westwood, I still think Leander is the team to beat in that district until someone beats them. So I'll stick with the Lions.
I'm going to go with Westwood. I flipped a coin. It was heads. Westwood will win in double overtime. It's that close.
Why was Westwood
Wow.
heads?
I don't know. Because they're the visiting team.
Because of Coach Wood's head.
Ooh, very,
it's
very,
it's very
shiny.
George Washington-ish.
Very shiny.
Interesting that the team that we all picked before the season was probably Leander, and the team that we didn't even pick for the playoffs at all, Westwood.
You should have seen Coach Wood hopping around and during that victory. It was very entertaining.
Well, let's talk about two teams that are playing each other that may not have also been in that playoff conversation. Cedar Park and McNeil. They play Friday night. I'm going to go with McNeil in this one. Straight up. I bet you.
I actually also am going to pick McNeil because of their defense. They've only given up 41 points. I saw them shut down Bowie completely a couple weeks ago and totally not allow Bowie to pass the ball at all. And I think that defense is going to be the key in that game.
I'm not saying this just to be different, but I think Cedar Park's going to win.
Mm-hmm.
Tyler Smith is a great running back. He got 163 yards last week against a pretty good Georgetown team. Cedar Park is underrated, maybe because we don't see him that often. Maybe we should see them more often. I'm picking Cedar Park in a fairly close game.
It's going to be a good game.
Out, huh?
It's going to be a good showdown. Okay, last one out of 25-5A, San Marcos and Bowie. This is a Thursday night special at Burger. What do you guys say?
I'm going to go with San Marcos. Bowie, I know they're playing at home, and that's a big advantage, but San Marcos, they ran for 333 yards rushing last week in a victory over Anderson. They have a running back by the name of Kevin Stiles, and perfect name for him because he styles a lot out there. He had 115 yards against Anderson. I like them. I like Bowie too because of their defense. San Marcos because of their offense. San Marcos will win.
I think I'll pick San Marcos too. Don't have any huge reason why, but I think I like San Marcos' offense a little bit better to score in this game.
Keep going. My
Keep
phone
going.
is ringing. I apologize.
Keep going.
Anyway, I'm going to go with...
It might be Coach Wood. I don't know.
It might be Coach Wood.
Yeah.
Let's check. It's not. Anyway, I'm going to go with Bowie. I just got a funny feeling that Bowie's going to win that game. And now I have a funny feeling they're actually going to make the postseason. So
That's a big win for them the other day.
It was. All right. Well, that's a wrap for this week, and we will come back next week and see who was right.